Okay. All right. So, um, I'm not really expecting too many people to be online, but then again, Christmas time, the eve of Christmas, there were quite a few people, so that was definitely a great thing. But I'm actually, I know I say it a lot of times, I'm not going to be on that long, which hence the reason why my original getup is not the same. Hi, Cicely. Hi, Ty. Happy New Year's Eve, guys. Happy New Year's Eve. Um, so yeah, if you guys can see that my getup is different. Um, I was so tired when I got home. I couldn't even set up. I couldn't even set up on my table. I just decided to sit back, relax, and chill, and just talk to you guys. We're just gonna talk, guys. I'm not even gonna go like crazy like I always do, when I'm yapping away. And just happy New Year's, guys. Whomever is coming into the chat, happy New Year to you guys. We're going into 2022, man. It seems it doesn't it feel like we were just like in 2021, like we just started 2021 not long ago. Yes, Rika, my couch is actually pretty comfortable. They're reclining. They're like all of them recline. So like if I have like people over, the switch on the side, pop it up, boom. You're sitting back, TV is right there, and just chill, watch TV, have a good time. Every time Amanda comes over, she usually sits on this side. I usually sit on the other side, the other corner. And it's just so comfortable. Like you don't even want to get you don't want to get off the couch. You really don't. You just want to chillax and enjoy your peace. Like I enjoy my peace and solitude. By the way, guys, if you hear music in the background, my neighbors, they got the music blasting. So don't worry too much about it. Oh, by the way, guys, I have headphones on, so please just let me know that you hear me clearly. I did a TikTok yesterday. Everybody heard me, perfectly fine. So just to make sure. Let's see, Cicely, don't mind me if I'm like, I saw my ex today. I was outside with my family, and she rode by and stopped on my corner for like 5 minutes, blasting music loud. Yeah, yeah. It's not surprising, and I want people who are also catching it on the stream to understand, especially for those who have just, gone through a discard and are just trying to like face their emotions and their emotions with it all. I want, people to understand something around the holidays, especially now. Listen, guys, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and this looks like a more a dangerous, more like there is literally something in the air that people are getting more sick, and it's spiking up, and we have to kind of remain in solitude, dealing with a global pandemic, and then dealing with the holidays, and having to deal with possibly being hoovered, or just your narcissistic ex, or anybody you dealt with who's a narcissist coming around. It's that time of year. It's that time of year. They do things, and remember what I told you guys, they're very petty, guys. They're very petty. They'll do things to spark a reaction out of you, to make you feel some kind of way, to make you think about them, to just kind of just tug at you. And it doesn't even have to be physically. It could be, energetically. So I'm not surprised, Cicely, that she would make it her duty to come around and try to provoke something, or try to get some kind of response, especially if you've gone this long without being in contact with her. Like if you're used to um giving in, you're used to giving in, you're used to like, all right, you know what, fine, it's kind of like that attitude. And being as you are going complete no contact, you're not giving her any, you're not giving her any kind of indication that you want to be bothered by her, you want anything to do with her. Yeah, I mean, she's probably feeling some type of way, you know? Like, these people are so entitled. And that's the thing that kills me most. It's like you feel that entitled because you're not getting the attention that you feel the need to just be like, well, screw it. I'm gonna come around and try to poke the bear. I'm gonna try to come, and get a reaction out of you. And it's like, there's 7 billion people on this planet. Why do I have to be the one you want to fuck with? You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, Cicely, you already know your situation, and I've already told you as far as the different types of tactics and the things that they do, and at the end of the day, there's motive behind it. There's something there. Hi, Allie. Hi, sweetheart. Happy New Year. There is there's just something there, you know. And at the end of the day, the one good thing I love about you guys, and for many survivors who are going through the motions, is they can pick up things. You guys, you learn, you see that your discernment is really kicking in, it's really picking up, and you are really like putting what you've learned, you're putting that, you're putting that into effect. And I love that. And I'm proud of you guys for that, because all of these things that they're doing before you learned everything you learned, all of these things that they're doing, you probably would have fallen for it. You would have fallen for it. You would have fallen for the crocodile tears. You would have fallen for, the nonsense, so you definitely should be proud of yourself for actually saying, no, I know what you're doing. I know what you're attempting to do, and I'm not going to fall for it. So definitely be proud of yourself for that. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Just want to make sure. Okay, so Ali asked, hey, Erica, is it natural to still be angry at your abuser? I would think it would be unnatural if you're not upset with someone who abused you. I mean, you know, listen, you're gonna have your feelings. You're definitely gonna have your feelings about it, and that anger is not something that just goes away overnight. You're going to be upset. You're going to be angry. You're going to you gradually do have to learn to let it go, but it is, you're human. Of course, you can be angry. Just, what do I always tell you guys? Don't sit in it. Don't sit in it. Don't sit in the anger. Don't sit in resentment. Don't sit in any of that. You have to continuously move forward. As hard as that may seem, continuously move forward. Being upset with them, I personally, this is my opinion, I personally feel that the anger is what pushes me further, if that makes sense. It pushes me further. Like, whenever I get a moment that I'm thinking about a good time or a sentimental time. Because you gotta remember, this was sentimental to you. This was what you were feeling. When I get a moment that I think about a sentimental time and I feel myself getting, kind of vulnerable, I do remind myself, I don't know, maybe it's the Capricorn in me. I remind myself that, yeah, I was feeling this way at that time and it felt good, it felt great. But I always constantly remind myself of what happened later on, what happened afterwards, because everything that you've gone through, you know, it negates all of those so-called good times. It negates the feelings that you had at that time. Being angry is completely normal. You're human, you're flawed. It happens. Just as long as you don't act on it, you don't, act on that, on with that anger, you don't, I always tell you guys, don't seek revenge on anybody, okay? But sometimes it could be a good thing, because that anger is a reminder. It reminds you of what you've endured and what you don't want to go back to, or what you don't want to revisit with the same person or with anyone else. Rika, it's so unfair, the grief long after it's over. I listen, Mama, I'm gonna tell you something. I I grieved for a couple of years. I grieved for a couple of years, and you know, God, like I said, he sends me so many different messages and even warnings in my dreams. And I had to like separate myself. I had to separate myself from it. Grieving because you feel like you lost someone to death. You feel like it was like something that, and it's not just that person that you lost, you feel like you lost yourself. And if I told you that your grieving was more for losing yourself as opposed to losing the person who, portrayed themselves to be someone, who portrayed so many different things, who presented so many illusions to you, your grief is more about you because you felt like you lost yourself. You felt like you lost, you know, a piece of yourself or maybe, a big chunk of yourself. And that grieving is warranted, but it's because you're not grieving the person. You're grieving how you felt, how they made you feel, but finding out that it was really an illusion, if that makes sense. You're finding out that it was an illusion, that everything you have put so much work and effort, everything invested in was pretty much, you think of it as a waste. It's a waste. It's a waste. Why did I get involved with this person when this person clearly had no intentions of on having something solid with me or committing to me? Why did I get involved with this person when all they did was, pretty much use me? And when I say use, guys, I don't just mean materialistically, I don't mean financially, sexually. They can use you, they can use your energy, they can use your empathy, they can use your genuineness, your validation. Like they've used you on so many levels. I think a lot of us who grieved, we grieved more for ourselves because not only did we allow this to happen, because we did, we can admit to that, we allowed it to happen, we lost a part of ourselves. But now think of it this way too, guys. Think of not only what you lost, but think of everything you gained. Okay, I want you to focus more on what you gained out of it because you didn't lose yourself completely. You just lost a part of you that, I want to say this, I really want to say it this way. You shedded a part of you that was really more so hurting you than it was benefiting you. And by that, I mean, and I was just having this conversation on TikTok yesterday when we ask, why does God allow us to go through these things? Why does He allow us to, endure and experience these things? And I watched a video on YouTube that, hi, Kara. Hi, Chris. How are you? Where it was a guy who, he's a Christian, and he was explaining God allows us to go through these pains and these struggles. And oh no, the video said, why does God allow you to fall in love with someone who does not love you back? That was the name of the video. And he made some very good points on it. He said, well, first of all, God allows you to fall in love with someone like this because it was your free will. You chose to fall in love with someone not knowing clearly. Hi, G. Happy New Year, guys. Stella. You fall in love with someone because clearly it is your free will. He allowed it to happen because he knew that at some point you were going to learn something from this. You guys realize, like, when you go through struggles and you go through pain, you learn something out of it, which basically leads you in the next stages of your life, the next phases of your life, where you're like, okay, I went through all of this, so now I know what to do and what not to do, right? I think people who go through those same cycles are the people who haven't learned their lessons. They haven't learned their lessons, so they're continuously going. And I'm sure you did, Kara. I'm sure a lot of you did. people haven't learned their lessons, so they continuously go through the same things. But when you've learned, you know, he basically stated that God allows you to go through this because he needs your heart to mature. Okay? Your heart has to mature, and you have to be more discerning in life. And when we pray to God, it's sometimes we always expect a yes. We always expect a yes. We say, "Oh, yeah, I prayed to God, and I thought this person was the one for me, and I thought this person, and sometimes, God's giving you a hard no, but and by giving you that hard no, he's giving you the red flags, but you know, again, that damn free will, right? We choose to ignore the red flags. We choose to, be in denial about situations because we care about the person, because we love the person. We're emotional about the person. And the fact is, our heart is very treacherous. Our heart can be very deceiving. All right? Because our heart goes for what feels good. Our heart goes for what we desire. Give me a second, guys. I'm holding this phone, and you know what? My arm is getting like a little, it's just getting a little bit numb. So I'm gonna bring my stand over here. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay. So I'm gonna just try to focus this. I hope I do not click off on you guys. Yeah, okay. No. Oh. Okay, hold on 1 sec. There we go. All right, yeah, I tried to hold on to the phone and my arms started getting tired. I got to get that shake weight. But yeah, I would say that sometimes, our experiences, as painful as they may be, they're necessary. They're really necessary. And as long as you've learned from it, you've learned from that experience, and not to go through the same cycles over and over again, then you can lead a healthy lifestyle. You can have healthy relationships with other people. You know, there are always people come with warning signs. Everybody comes with a warning sign. It's just whether or not we choose to actually pay attention. We choose to accept what it is with these people. And unfortunately, some of us just we get kind of stuck. We get stuck in it, and we just focus more on what we desire. We focus on what we perceive to be the good aspects of these people. Because listen, a manipulator is simply that, a manipulative person. They're simply a person who creates illusions, creates these false settings, and they're the types who will tell you what you want to hear. They're the types who will, they're pretty much the types that'll say, well, I had to lie to you because I didn't want to hurt you, knowing that lying to you is actually hurting you. But they never intended on getting caught in those lies. That's why they say things like that. And it's like, you could just keep it honest, just be 100. But these people can't do that. They can't do that. They can't tell you who they truly are. They can't show you who they are, because that runs the risk of them not getting what they want. That runs that risk. So it's sad, guys. It's sad. And again, anybody who comes across this stream, it's the holidays, it's that time of year. I know a lot of people are feeling it. They're feeling the emotions. They're just feeling that, some people are feeling anxiety. Some people are feeling, run down. They're feeling hopeless. They're feeling helpless. I want to tell you guys, it pain is not forever. Pain does not last forever. Okay. You get a cut, and what happens? You take care of it, it heals over time. It's the same thing. It's just emotional and psychological pain. It's just going to take a little longer to heal. That's all. And if you're patient, It's going to be patience makes it more effective. Be patient with yourself, and really just really use this time to love yourself. Use this time to be with yourself, be a part of yourself, keep yourself company. Kara, I never thought I would meet someone, my contacts, I gotta get new contacts. Or be enraged to be married to someone so cruel with a family. Oh, wait, let me just go back. With a family as cruel in them. They walk away with no remorse and feel like the world owes them. Yeah, you know, people of this nature, this is, I mean, aside from this being their MO, this is what they do, this is how they are, this is who they are. The reason, a lot of the time, the reason they get away with things like this, the reason they're able to, get into something new, going unscathed, get into other dynamics, other relationships, is because not many people talk about it. Not like, like for example, previous victims, they're not coming out with it. They're not coming forward with it. People are looking at their behaviors as, okay, they're a manipulator, they're a liar, they're a cheater, they're a thief, whatever, and they move on from it, without really speaking on it. If you call a narcissist out, or if you call out someone who's extremely narcissistic and you're creating waves with it, that'll pose as a problem for them, especially when you're getting, the kind of, I don't want to say attention, but you're getting the kind of response where people are noticing, your story, they're noticing what you went through. There's always going to be, this is why I say be careful how you treat people, because even though you may have gotten away with certain things in life, there's always going to be that one thorn in your side that's not going to stay quiet. They're not going to stay quiet. They're going to talk, they're going to speak up on it. And I'm not saying that previous victims were, you know, uh scaredy cats or anything like that. I mean, everyone has their reasons for not speaking on it. But I know I'm a thorn in people's sides. I know that for a fact. I'm a thorn, in people's sides pertaining to relationships, even my own family. I'm a thorn in their sides because I'm just simply, the one good thing I could say my mom taught me, you don't have hair on your tongue. You speak your truth, you say it like it is, and pretty much screw what everybody else says. So at the end of the day, you know, I am not going to stay quiet about, being abused, being verbally abused, being emotionally abused, psychologically, and in some cases, yes, sexually abused too. I mean, it goes, way back, but still, why stay quiet about something that actually happened? And to top it all off, why stay quiet when you see that these people don't even give a damn what they're doing, because they're just pretty much moving along the line and victimizing other people. It's when you do talk and when you expose and you are really you're causing a shakeup, that's when it's like, okay, now you're becoming a problem. And that's where, in my case, the stalkers, the gang stalkers, the trolls, the people who make the fake accounts, who try to, get through to me, and they try to really hit my, they try to hit my confidence. They really do try to hit my confidence. And it's like, it's bulletproof. You can't penetrate it. You simply can't. Okay. Someone's going to always say something. So if someone says something to me, I'm always going to have something to come back. The only difference is that I have a steel tongue. And that's another thing I want to talk about real quick, guys. And this is for anybody who watches this on the stream. Listen, just because people have been victimized and people are survivors of abuse, whether narcissistic, domestic, what have you, just because we are, or, because people are empaths and they carry, a significant amount of empathy, and they're kind, loving, caring people, do not think for a second that we won't, cuss you out. Don't think for a second that we won't tell you who you are or tell it like it is. Like, I noticed that people have certain, expectations of me. They have like this, you're supposed to be this way. No, bitch, I'm gonna be who I am. And that's just the way it is. And if nobody likes it, they don't have to be around. They don't have to stick around. Like, you're gonna sit here and try to critique me and judge me and say things about me, or, even try to say it to me, making it seem like this is what you're supposed to do. No, no. Because even if I was getting paid for this, I'm still going to be who I am. Okay. Authenticity has no price. And you can't tell someone who's being authentic not to be. Like, that would make me no different than these narcissistic demons that you guys have dealt with. So I do get often people trying to, tell me, oh, well, like, they try to call me out as a narcissist because I speak the way I do, or I relate things the way I do, or I respond the way I do. Like, oh, you see, that's how a narcissist would respond. No, bitch. This is how a frustrated survivor responds to stupid, inane comments. This is how I respond to people who insist on trying to have an opinion on situations, on matters that, number one, you came to my account, you came to my page, you came to my channel. You can have an opinion, yes, you can, but when you are making statements that, that are completely irrelevant to what the nature of it is, then why even bother coming by? Even moving. Like, but I guess people want to be noticed. People want that, 5 minutes of, fame, or whatever the case may be. And those would normally be the same kind of people who try to invalidate victims, who sit there and say, oh, like, for example, I saw a comment earlier today on one of my TikTok videos, and the guy was like, and I could just tell it was a guy, but he was like, oh, at the end of the day, they both, they're both the victim and the manipulator are to blame, because they're both provoking each other. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And you guys know me and my mouth, so I'm like, I see. So you're telling me that I provoked the person, or the people who I've dealt with. I provoked them to cheat. I provoked them to gaslight me. I provoked them to put their hands on me. I provoked them to do all of these things. So you're simply implying, because, listen, to provoke someone, you're basically implying that I asked for it. I asked for these things. And it just goes to show, like, comments like that, it aggravates me. It really does. But at the end of the day, I don't stay quiet. Like, I'm not going to sit here and let you invalidate people who have been killed in domestically abusive relationships, who have been invalidated by so many people that they end up either committing suicide, or, their stories, people will be like, oh, well, I guess we fucked up, because then that person ends up dead. It's just, it's mind-boggling to me, the amount of just completely uneducated people. I'm going to call them uneducated. I'm going to use a nice word and call them uneducated. People who don't know what this entails. No, you're not. Everybody's not going to meet a narcissist per se. Everyone is not going to be with a narcissist per se. You may be with someone who has severe characteristics. You may be with someone who is, who is a manipulator, but not necessarily a narcissist. You may be with someone who suffers other personality disorders, or does have, mental health issues. You may have dealt with someone like that. But at the end of the day, if you're lying about something and you are conscious about it, what the hell does the label matter? a manipulator is a manipulator. Whichever way you color it in, it's going to be a manipulative person. And, my part of it is give you the signs, tell you what you need to look for, tell you what you would need to do if in the event they try to come back into your life and ruin it all over again. I personally I can't stand people sometimes, guys. I'll be honest with you. I can't. I just can't stand people sometimes. You have so many people who have gone through so much, and it's just the people who are so close-minded, who don't understand what you have gone through. They're just sitting there like, well, like the ones who enable these types of people are the ones who say, if, like, for example, your partner put their hands on you, right? And narcissist or not, they put their hands on you. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, well, what did you do that they put their hands on you? Bitch, what? What the hell does it matter? Especially if I was not putting my hands on that person or I wasn't threatening that person's life. What did you do for that person to assault you? Tell them the truth about themselves? Try to leave? Caught them, doing something they shouldn't have been doing, and I gave them the proof of what I found? Like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? What did you do? What did you do for them to hit you? You must have done something. Hey, man, listen. The only way it would be justifiable that you put your hands on me if I am threatening your life. And by threatening your life, I am literally coming at you with the fucking cuchillo in my hand, with a knife. Like, what? 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 Coming at you like Michael Myers. If I'm not coming at you like that, you don't put your hands on me. If I'm not smacking you around and beating you up, you don't put your hands on me. But sometimes, people just, it makes manipulators feel more superior. It makes them, makes them feel like they're the big tough guy. And not even, I'm not even just going to put that out there, because women put their hands on men too. They hit men too. And they think that because they're women, it's okay to do that. It's okay for me to put my hands on you. I'm a woman. What the hell does that mean? You better get the hell up out of here before I beat you with your own dildo. Don't fight with me. I'm just saying. I know I said I will calm it down, but 2022 is not here yet. So, bear with me, guys, because I'm going to be changing a lot of things up for next year. But, to go through all of that, guys, to go through everything you went through, and for them to treat you like, you'll never get better than me. Like, really? This is what you call the best? This right here is what you call the best? You call bare minimum, the best? You call trying to make me compete for your love, your attention, your affection? You call that the best? You call being one-sided in a relationship, that's the best? You have the audacity to look down your nose, and I have been contributing 95% of this relationship. You call that the best? And I want new survivors, new victims to understand, you didn't lose anything but a massive fucking headache. That is what you lost. You lost a headache. You lost projection. You lost someone else's trauma, someone else's burdens, someone else's issues. You lost all of that, because while they're sitting here making it seem like I'm losing myself by dealing with you, the reality of it was that you were losing yourself by dealing with them. They just found it easier to point the finger at you because it's easier for them to blame you rather than taking accountability for what they've done, what they did and what they didn't do. You didn't lose anything. And I'm telling you guys, going into 2022, you guys are going into a new year. You are going into so many different phases, so many different stages of your journey. And you just have to keep yourself in high spirits, because these people at the moment, that you are vulnerable, the moment you are feeling down, you're feeling weak. I don't know, they're like bloodhounds. They can sense that. They can sense it, you know? If you, and here's my advice to you guys, if you're feeling a certain kind of way, if you are feeling, upset, if you're having a trigger or whatever the case may be, don't publicize that. Do not go onto the internet. Don't go online putting your emotions out there like that, being openly vulnerable, because that is just an open doorway for predators, whether it be your narcissistic ex or it be the next narcissist that wants to try to come into your life. You have to, listen, if you got to fake it till you make it, do it. Do it. But let that be your shield to protect you. Okay. Don't, have a weak moment. This is why I say, guys, lose their numbers, change your phone number. Okay. Because sometimes you can have a weak moment. You can have a moment where you're feeling lonely, and it's like, okay, well, even if you just want that physical contact, you're feeling lonely. Next thing you know, boom, you're picking up the phone and you're calling your ex. I thank God I don't know anybody's numbers by heart. I think I have to say that. I thank God I don't know anyone's numbers by heart. Every time I went to call someone, I would just scroll down to their name in the phone book and just hit their name and call. But the only number I know by heart is my own. Um, I'm learning my son's phone number. I know his dad's number by heart because he had it for years and I always had to call him from other phones. But I just thank God that I don't know, because if you knew someone's phone number by heart, that can easily tempt you too. Like, could be drinking one day and boom, next thing you know, you waking up next to your ex and you're like, oh shit, how the hell did you get here? And they're like, oh, you remember you called me? I'm like, oh shit, how many drinks did I have? And you were kind of drunk, but I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad you called me because we could try to make this work. Like, no, if you don't get the fuck out of my house right now, I'm gonna burn you in this bed. Like that's you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there, guys. You really don't want to be there, because it's just rehashing and reopening stuff, and you just don't want to do that. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. My eyes are like dry. Yes, change your number may be hard, but your mental health and healing is way more important. They will harass you, especially if you discarded them first and the rage is real. Yeah, discarding them first, you know, discarding them first. And like I said, guys, as a disclaimer, whether you dealt with a narcissist or someone who's very narcissistic, listen, they're two different people, but they're cut from the same cloth, okay? And at the end of the day, if you were the one who discarded a narcissistic person, this is the kind of person who's very entitled. They feel very entitled to your life. They feel very like, how dare you let me go? How dare you cut me off? It's not, oh, you hurt me, I'm hurting, I'm in pain, I'm in tears. And no, dad. Oh no, wait, I know my dad's number too. My dad just texted me, Daddy, yes, I do know your number by heart. I actually do know your number by heart because my dad had his number for like the past 20 years. So, but but they're the kind of people who are like, how dare you reject me? How dare you deny me? Like, just very egotistical, like, do you not realize how many people would want me? And if you notice, that's different compared to you being discarded by them, because you're like, I can't believe this is happening. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting me? The responses are completely different, completely and utterly different. We may have our egotistical moments. We may have our moments where we are, selfish, where we're being mean. And, I was explaining this yesterday. We all have different personality traits, which is what, makes up just us as a whole, as a human being. But at the end of the day, these people are just, they're like set, they're fixed in their patterns, they're fixed in their behaviors, because that's their thought process, that's their way of thinking. So if you have ever discarded a narcissist, you better believe that when it boils down to these types of people, they're like on a warpath, and they could be messing around with other people, guys. They could be dealing with other people. They could be messing around with, Jenny from the block, down the block, whatever you want to call her. They could be, or, or Jason. I got to remember to do both sides. But they still have their eyes fixated on you because you were the one who cut them off. You were the one who walked away from them. Okay? And you notice how the other way around, when you were going through a discard, yes, you had your moments, guys. You were focused on them. You were fixated on them. You were borderline obsessed with them. You were watching the things that they were doing, almost in a sense of like masochistically, like you were not intentionally trying to hurt yourself, or not intentionally trying to give yourself that painful feeling, but you found it almost impossible to let go, impossible to detach from them, right? Because you felt like there was some kind of hold on you. So, you found yourself periodically, maybe every day, it happens. I mean, listen, we were all there, going to their page to see if they posted something new, or checking their social media, checking the people who commented on their pictures, going, you're just putting yourself through all of this. And it was because you are still attached to that person, but you are emotionally attached to them. You're bonded to them. They, on the other hand, if you discarded them and they're dealing with other people, they're out there, messing around with different people, but still fixated on you because in their eyes they own you. Like you entitled SOB. Like, you seriously, you're dealing with so many different other people, and you still have the audacity to try and control me, to try and monitor me, to watch me, to watch what I'm doing, to stalk me. Man, listen. Dad, I need a taser, just in case. If you can get me one, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, it's nuts. Um, Amanda, you're talking to me? If you're talking to me, I'm not. I don't even know. I get so many notifications because I get so many new subscribers that it's like, um, yes, Emmanuel says one has to realize that nothing will ever be good with a narc. That's it. That is true. That is true. Because you have someone who's so set in their ways. They're set. Listen, guys, and again, I have to reiterate it because it bears repeating, because I know there are different people who come, especially after extremes. You know, do not for one second think that how they spoke to you, how they treated you, how they, everything they pretty much dumped on you had anything to do with you, because it didn't. It had absolutely nothing to do with you. This is who they were before they met you. This is who they're going to be afterwards. Okay? This is who they were before they met you. This is who they're going to be afterwards. This was all simply due to them. Okay? If you dealt with a scapegoat type of narcissist, you dealt with someone who was very cruel with their words, very cold, very callous, very, just heartless. And it's not just with their words, but with their actions. They showed no consideration. They showed, selfishness. They showed self-indulgence. They were pretty much putting people, well, this goes on the scale for both types, but they were pretty much putting others ahead of you. Okay, so they put themselves, ahead of you, and then they put others ahead of you. And the only time they would ever put you on the pedestal is if it was because you were grooming them, you were stroking their ego, you were trying to boost up their confidence, you were trying to do these things. Okay, if you dealt with a golden child type of narcissist, you dealt with someone who was very entitled, very materialistic, all about, having the best things, all about having the finer things in life, materialistically wise. You dealt with someone who was a real attention seeker. Like the spotlight had to be on them, and if anybody threatened that, they would get very defensive, they would get hostile, they would, they would do things to spite you, to hurt you. I mean, this is standard with a lot of narcissists, but they would do things to make you feel so small and present themselves to being superior, you know? And they were basically always, which is, again, it's pervasive. They were always looking for the next best thing. They were always looking for the next best thing. Sometimes it just takes that one stroke, man. It takes that one stroke, even if it's externally. Okay. So if you dealt with the type of narcissist or narcissistic individual, okay, I'm gonna say that as well, who was not feeling too good about themselves, but you kept putting them on the pedestal, you kept stroking the ego, you kept giving them, trying to boost up their confidence. And you boosted it enough to the point where it was just a little too much, because now they're becoming extremely cocky with it. Okay. You may have met someone who was going through a narcissistic collapse. It happens, guys. It does happen. You may have met someone who was dealing with a narcissistic collapse, where they were in the middle of it, or, coming, possibly close to the end of it. And they just needed you to fill up their ego tank. Okay. And you filled up their ego tank. You made them feel good. You made them feel the way they wanted to feel, where they were like, all right, I'm good. I'm here now, because they're up there. You take it as, oh, after everything, you're going to shit on me. No, it's not after everything. It's just pretty much, I got what I wanted from you. So now that I'm being noticed, now that I'm being admired by other people, and I'm being looked at, it's like, okay, well, now that I'm up here, I got to find better than you, because they done spent all that time pushing you down here. So now they look down their noses at you even more. You're all the way down in the gutter. They're feeling high and mighty, and they're like, okay, you don't match me. That's their attitude. You don't match me. You don't match my energy. You don't match where I stand. And I have to, now that I'm getting noticed and I'm getting different compliments and I'm getting different people stroking my ego, after you done put me on the highest pedestal, because with you putting them on the pedestal, you're putting them in sight. You understand? You're putting them in sight for people to see them. I don't know if you realize that or not. You're putting them in the spotlight. You are giving and giving and giving and giving, and you are putting them on that high pedestal, and other people saw them, and other people saw them to be, important, or whatever the case may be. And they decided, well, I got all this now. What do I need with you? Sounds kind of fucked up to say it that way too, but it's the truth. And that's what they do, which is why you have to now focus on you. Bring yourself up there. Bring yourself up there, because now that they no longer have your pedestal, now that they no longer have your attention, now that they no longer have you to be there to validate them, to, to comfort them, to be generous and loving and giving, and just, be the sweet person that you are, now they got to find somebody else. And they have to find somebody else who will basically, because you done raised the bar. You raised the bar on it, okay? You raised the bar on it. So now they have to find someone else, because it's kind of like, once you've tried something and you really like it, it's like you tried something extraordinary and you liked it so much that you can't really go back to ordinary. That's their mentality. I had something extraordinary. I've tried it for the first time, or or this just raised the bar for me. Now I can't go back to ordinary. And what happens? That's why they try to hoover you. That's why they try to hoover you, and they try to come back into your good graces, because it's like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to find all this that they gave me. I mean, these people aren't willing to do that for me, but this person was. And that's where that regret comes in, because now they done did all of this shit to hurt you and put you down. They lost your trust. They lost your confidence. They lost your faith. They lost everything from you. And now they don't know how to get that back. Nah, bueno. Go rely on those people. Go to those people that were stroking your ego when they come to find out that those people are just as superficial as they are. Um, I raised her son since he was 7 years old, and as soon as he turned 18, they both left me. Wow, Sergio, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. And that I can't imagine. I cannot imagine because I'm pretty sure, that he clearly, he was a son to you. And, you know, I'll tell you something. I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I am wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it's kind of like follow my lead because mothers, narcissistic mothers, manipulative mothers, um, they're the kind of mothers that are pretty much, it's kind of like, I'm going to give you one story, but I'm going to give my kid another story, right? So they stand between the person and the child, and they're pretty much giving two stories. They're giving you one, they're giving the child another. And for that to happen, especially if you've been in that child's life all those years, more than likely she had infiltrated his mind because there is no way. Listen, and I have a great relationship with my father, but at the end of the day, if my mom was with someone and this person, was they've been in, her life, they've been in our lives, and we see how that person is around the home, around us. They're a great person, and all of a sudden, if my mom were to be like, oh well, this person was like this and that, projecting all types of negativity about that person, that it just doesn't match up. But children, I mean, every child is different. Every child is different, especially children who are under the belt of their mothers, or vice versa, their fathers. In this case, I'm probably 99.9% sure she she infiltrated that child's mind. She put something in that kid's head. She planted seeds in there to have the child believe that her actions are warranted because you're another way. When the reality of it is, I'm pretty sure your actions towards the child was the total opposite. But you have children who, because even at 18 years old, listen, even though they're considered adults, you still have 18-year-olds who live at home with their parents, who depend on their parents, and in some cases, they have to roll with the parents. So if she leaves, I have no choice. I have to leave. I can only hope and pray that, her son will see things for what they really are and reach out to you, and talk to you and say, even if it's just, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't know, because just like, these people can manage to infiltrate our minds, they can infiltrate children's minds too. Okay. They can really convince children, especially if it's their parents, because children are under the impression that, my parents wouldn't lie to me, my parents wouldn't hurt me, my parents would do nothing to, to jeopardize me and my life, when the reality of it is that's not always the case. And as sad as it is, it's the truth. It's not always the case. Um, Hold on one second, guys. Give me 1 second. I want to see something. She just always wanted me to give him everything, but would not allow me to discipline or raise him to be a man. Uh, Mothers like that, they want someone to fill a spot, but it's more on a it's more on a materialistic level. But she wanted full control, so she wanted to be the one who had full control of things. And please don't take this the wrong way, because when I say things, it's because It's screaming to me, but it seems to me that she had you there as a form of convenience, to provide for her child, to provide, the stability for her and her child. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, because no one should ever be involved with someone out of convenience. It should be, clearly we know what a healthy relationship should be like. But when it comes to that, and you manned up, that's the part that kills me. You manned up and you took care of someone else's child when you didn't have to. And for them to turn around, it's like, I got what I wanted, I got what we needed, and that was it. That's primarily why I talk a lot about female narcissists. Why? Some people will sit there and be like, "Oh, you're just one of those types of females who is bitter, who doesn't like other females, so you feel the need to talk about them." No, I talk about them because this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. This right here is a primary example of what I'm talking about. And I get branded. That's the problem. Women like me get branded because I'm pretty sure, and let's just say, Sergio, you went through the motions, and somewhere along the lines you met me, and we hit it off, and everything is great, without healing, without actually understanding that not everybody is the same. You would have ended up projecting certain things onto me when I'm a total opposite person of that person. It happens. It does happen. And this is where victims who do not heal, do not get the proper help that they need, they end up victimizing other people, creating more victims, even though it's not intentional. You know, you can suffer PTSD, you can suffer CPTSD, but if you are not getting the help that you need for it, you're not, you're going to end up victimizing other people. And that is going to, that creates a bigger problem, a much bigger problem. So much so that you get branded a narcissist. You get branded a narcissist. You get, you are basically labeled a narcissistic person, a selfish person. You're labeled an emotionally unavailable person. You're labeled an emotionally detached person, who's only out for their own needs. This is projecting these behaviors onto people. This is what, this is how people would perceive you as an abuser. And it's, yeah, it is. It is. And I imagine that it's extremely traumatizing because, you know, you connect, you connect and you bond, and it's almost like losing your own child. No, that wasn't your biological child, but that's almost like losing your own child because you were there all that time. You watched him grow up to be a man. You watched him. You were there for him, you know. I just hope that this does teach, and rather than turn your heart to stone, rather than make you feel like, it's hopeless, it's, you never want to do this again. I just hope that it just teaches you to still give love a chance because you do deserve it, but just to be discerning with it. Okay? Just be more, cautious, and really, the vetting process. You don't have to be crazy with it, but definitely just look deeper into things. I wanted to see something one more second. These daggone, it's just so tiny. Oh, David, thank you so much. Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year's to everybody who's joining and everybody who's coming in and out. Happy New Year's. Thank you so much. I will definitely see you in 2022. All right, let me just see. Yeah, Ty, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm actually, like I said, I'm not going to stay on that long myself, guys. And I know that you guys want to get your new year started as well. I just wanted to, do a check-in with you guys. And, me, I like to do my holiday editions because I like to, at least get messages out to people who are just experiencing it for the first time and who are, going through the motions and they don't know what to do or how to feel so it's always good to have that information there and, just reach people because, there are new victims every day. Okay. There are new victims. Someone right now, as we speak, is being discarded by a narcissist. They're being abused. They're being, there's so many different things going on. And I like to make sure that, people know that they're not alone. They're not alone in their journey. They're not alone with the process. And, the holidays may be kind of tough for a few people. I know it definitely was for me in the beginning, but after a while, you just become so enamored with your peace that you don't really notice it. You don't really, you're like, okay, I guess. Like New Year's, especially with this pandemic, it's become another day for me. I'm in bed by 10, 11 o'clock. So, you know, but it's not like a bad thing. It's not I'm in bed because of depression or because of anxiety or because, I'm binging on, drinking or and I'm not doing any of that. Like quiet night home with my son, just relaxed. He wants to watch the ball drop, so when it comes that time, I'm gonna put it on the TV for him. But this is truly where I want to be. Like I love my home. I love the way I feel when I'm home. I'm just so much at peace and so much at ease because it's just so comfortable, and that's what matters. So for those who are experiencing it, you know, ride the wave. Just ride that wave. You will not drown. I can promise you in that. If you ride it out and you have faith in yourself, it definitely will teach you, it was a painful lesson, but you will definitely make it out of it 10 times stronger. You will definitely, especially people who suffered codependency, you will definitely feel so you just will feel so renewed and you'll feel just that peace, man. That peace is so beautiful. It really is. It's a beautiful feeling that it'll show on you. It'll show on you. You won't, I can look back at, now, and that's another thing. If you're going through the motions now, however long it would take your healing process, by the time you get to that point, you'll be able to look back and be like, what was I crying about? What was I hurting? Why was I feeling like this? You know, look at your peace now. Look at your peace now compared to before. Granted, you had some good times. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But that was part of the conditioning. That was part of the trauma bonding. You had some good times, but you had a lot more toxic times. You had a lot more, arguments, invalidations, gaslighting. You just had a whole bunch of other crap going on. But if you look at your piece now, yes, you may be alone, but how much more peaceful is it for you? How much more peaceful is it for you? You know, do you go to bed at night shaking? And this, of course, are for more advanced survivors, but do you go to bed at night shaking? Do you go to bed, feeling anxious or you hit depressive modes, or are you actually waking up every day and saying, something, what else can I do for myself today? What else can I do to make myself happy today? What adventure am I going to go on? Those are the things that you really have to think about, because would you have been able to achieve the things that you have now if you had stayed in those dynamics? Sometimes you got to go through certain things to get you where you need to be. You have to, even though it wasn't really granted, you went through it because of what I told you before. You went into it with free will, but I know that at the end, you look at it like, if I'd have known this, if I'd have known that I was going to go through this, I never would have gotten into it. But think of all that you've achieved now. Like, I honestly would say to myself truthfully, and I'll be truthful with you, if I didn't know what I was going to experience, and I had to, if I had to do it all over again, I would. I would. As hard as it may sound to hear it that way, I would, because I would not have the knowledge. I would not have the emotional sustainability. I would not have overcome my codependency if I had not gone through it. So if I had to, if I woke up tomorrow, okay, if I woke up tomorrow and had to do it all over again, I would. I would, because I would not know what I know now, and I would not be where I am now. My heart would not have matured, and I would have been going into another cycle with another person. And I hadn't realized the cycles that I was going through prior to this person. I was going through cycles with other people. I hadn't realized what I was dealing with. But this particular relationship, this particular, situation, it just hit me in a different way. And it hit me so badly and so, impactfully, that I couldn't go. What was I gonna do? When you're completely awake and you're too woke, you can't go back to sleep. Not after that, you know. But it just basically pushed me towards my purpose, and this is where I'm at now. So I would definitely say that something. It may have been a horrendous experience, and for anyone who's just now experiencing it, who's new to narcissistic abuse and new to what it is that you need to learn, you'll understand what I mean when you get to your healing, when you get through your healing. You'll understand what I mean. It's a lot to get through, but you'll get through it. You definitely will. And like I said, the holidays are simply, just look at it as another day. Okay? Look at it as just another day. It's just another day. It's here today. It's the day is here today, but it's going to be gone tomorrow, because it's going to be a brand new day for you. Okay? Just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Don't look back. Please don't look back. Don't look backwards, guys. There's nothing back there. There is nothing back there. In your past, there is nothing back there. Okay? All of that, you can discard that. Absolutely, Sergio. It definitely brings you closer to God. It brought me completely closer, and I'm still working on my relationship, and not working on it like, oh, I don't believe in him, or, oh, I'm, trying to find my place with God. I know where my place is. I'm working on my relationship with God in the sense of, being completely and utterly, surrendering in that, because I fail, guys. We all do. He knows that, but your intentions are pure. And if they're pure, that's what counts most. See, people tend to think that, oh, but if I do good deeds and I do this and I do that and I pose it off for the world, I'm a good person. I'm going to church. I'm here. See, I'm here bringing food for the homeless. See, I'm here bringing gifts, and they gotta advertise it. That don't mean shit if your heart's not in it, because he doesn't look at all of that. He reads what's in your heart. Okay, that's how he connects to you, and that's the part that's another thing that kills me about people who walk with a Bible in their hand. It's like, oh, I'm gonna walk with a Bible in my hand and preach and do this and that and use the word of God, but they're complete and utter sinners, and they just don't have that connection with God. But this experience will definitely change you drastically. It will definitely do that. Um that I'm gonna have to look back, guys, at all of the comments on the chat, because they're so tiny. and I can't see, and it's like I can view it just little by little. Hi, hello, Kitty. Happy New Year's to you, honey. But guys, I wanted to again, just wanted to come on, for you guys, be here for you. Anybody who, just wanted to come on and talk for a little bit. I'm glad I did it too. I'm glad that I was able to, just even though, like I said, you got people who are doing things for the new year, which is great. I wish everyone a great new year. I hope they have a great time. I hope they have a blast. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink. And hopefully they'll be able to catch it on the stream. They'll be able to catch it at a later time on the stream. And just for anyone who is new to the narc abuse survivor community, if you follow, hit the subscribe button, you'll get notified. And of course, there are plenty of other lives that I've done. There are plenty of other videos that you can watch that may help answer your questions. And if you find something that's not more tailored to what it is you're going through, then you can shoot me an email, send me a message, and I will be more than glad to try to help with, whatever it is that you need help with. Um, but I know it's a rough road. I know it's tough. It definitely is a journey, and journeys are not meant to be short. They're not short-lived, guys. Journeys are long. Okay, that's why it's called a journey. Okay, it's an extended amount of travel, and you're going to learn different things along the way. Okay, and it's going to help prepare you for whatever it is your purpose is, whatever it is you should be doing with your life, and it'll definitely bring you a lot closer to your higher self, and of course to God, because God is, he's the one who saw me through everything, so he gets all of the glory on that one. And just remember that not every single person in the world are like this. Not every single person is a bad person. You just have people who have dealt with different types of consequences and circumstances, and of course, they've applied it in their own way. Um, let me see. TVU agree with my. I'm sorry, my lashes are either. Agree with the relationship with God, Spirit, Source, 100. It makes you search inward. The toxicity makes you question everything, your existence, purpose, and why we endured. What was it meant for us? Absolutely. Absolutely. It teaches you, you know, about, just like you said, it teaches you about yourself. It teaches you what you need to change about yourself. These people will not change. Okay? They can do better. They just choose not to do better because this is easiest for them. These are the kind of people who like the easy way out in life. They like things that come to them easy. They don't have to put in as much work, which is why a lot of them are just, they can be irresponsible in their lives. They could be irresponsible with their children. It's just that they're very complacent with the lifestyle that they live. And at the end of the day, you will come across these kinds of people because they're meant to teach you something about yourself. Okay, they're meant to teach you something that needs to change within you. And if you see yourself continuously going through the same cycles, going through the same patterns, whether it be with the same person or different people, there is something that you have to change about yourself. Okay, because clearly if you're constantly, and I'm not just saying attracting these people, but if you're constantly maintaining relationships with people like this and you're constantly getting hurt, you got to stop for a second and say, what am I doing or what am I not doing that I see myself wanting to save relationships like this, wanting to, stay in these types of relationships? Okay, again, people who don't learn the lesson are going to continue to go through the same thing. So take this time, the moment that has happened, take it as learning. You have to learn. Okay, you have to learn from it. I don't know how many years we have on this earth. Okay, I don't know how many years you guys will have, but the remaining years that you do have, make them count. Make them count. Okay, Be happy. Be with people who are going to appreciate you. Be with people who are going to love you unconditionally. Be with people who are going to know how to respect you, your boundaries, who are going to, just do whatever is necessary because they adore you and they want to be in your presence genuinely. All right. The minute you start seeing red flags, you need to pull yourself back. The minute you come in contact with people and they're just showing you certain things that seem a little too familiar or a little too patternish, pull yourself back. Okay. Don't have people trying to convince you, oh, you're trying to compare me to someone from your past. No, I'm seeing something that is a little too familiar with things that I have gone through. And because I did not choose to use discernment to make the right choices at that time, I'm choosing now to do so. If you respect me and you respect my boundaries, then you're going to be understanding to what I am doing. Okay? And let them know it's nothing personal against you, but this is how I do things. People who respect you are going to just basically accept it. People who don't, they're either going to throw a hissy fit or they'll end up just leaving. Either way, either way, you're going unscathed. All right? So boundaries are necessary. They're a beautiful thing. Keep them with you. Do not be afraid to put boundaries up with people, whether they be in your family, in your circle of friends, in your relationships, even in your workplace. Do not be afraid to put up boundaries. That lets people know I have a backbone and I ain't breaking it for nobody. I'm not going against what I believe in. I'm not going against what I know is right for me for no one. The days of being people pleasers is over, guys. That's done. Okay? You're going into a new year. Make this your year. Make it your year. Okay? I just might check up with you guys and get progress reports. That's how much I want you to be invested in yourself. Be invested in yourself. Okay? You put enough investment in other people. And look at what happened. Okay? That ends now. That ends now. All right? You got a couple of hours until the clock strikes 12. Make your resolutions, set your intentions, make sure, pray to God and speak it into existence. This is going to be my year. I am going to be happy. I'm going to heal. I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to do everything I need to do that is going to benefit me. Okay. And if anyone has a problem with it, you ask God. For those who are trying to see me fail, for those who are trying to, deter me, who are trying to, stop me from progressing, remove them from my life. Just remove them. Okay. Sometimes he doesn't even have to reveal them. He just may remove them. All right. But make sure you start off your new year on a good, fresh start. Okay. You only have a couple of hours left, guys. So make sure you do that. Absolutely. Not report cards. I don't want to make it seem like I want progress reports. I want to make sure. I want to check in and make sure. So when I check in, you guys see me online. I check in. You're like, hey, Erica, here's my progress report. And we could do it quarterly. We could do it every 6 months, whichever way you want to do it. But that's how invested I am in your healing. And that's how invested I am with your progress. Okay. I've reached where I need to be. And I'm going much further from this point. Okay. I'm not trying to lead you. I'm trying to walk with you. I want to see, okay, I want to see which way you're going because I'm excited for you. Okay. You all have your own paths. You all have your own journeys. You all are going in different directions. I just want to, I just want to be by you. Like, hey, so where we going next? That's what I want to see. All right. You guys deserve that. You definitely deserve it. Okay. So remember, being alone does not mean that you're lonely. Okay. Having boundaries is a beautiful thing. I don't care if you got to tattoo it on the back of your ass. Boundaries. Okay. Going to God, nothing wrong with that, okay? It's a true blessing. You go to God, He's going to reveal people to you that are not going to be able to join you on your journey, and He's going to remove people who are not going to benefit your journey, all right? Releasing trauma, healing, all that good stuff. That's what we're focused on. We're focusing on that. What did she say? Okay, yeah, I can't even read. Amanda, I can't even read that. I don't even know. I'm blind as a bat, guys. I'm completely blind. So, guys, I'm going to give you guys the remainder of your night. Okay? Set those intentions, set those goals, set those resolutions. Make sure you start doing it. Okay? I will follow up with you guys. All that negative stuff goes out the window. No negative vibes, no negative energy, none of that. Okay? New year, new you. And we say that with conviction. All right, guys? So thank you guys so very much for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I'm glad I can do the same for those who may have needed it. I wish you all a very happy new year. I wish you all a year of love, blessings, prosperity, abundance, peace, healing, happiness, God's protection, especially. Okay? All of that good stuff. You deserve it. And I want you to continue to say that to yourself. I deserve it all. I deserve it all. And trust and believe God will see to it that you get it. Just remember, you need those boundaries to achieve that. All right, guys? So, guys, have a blessed night. Have a peaceful night. You're going to have some drinks. Do it up. Just remember, please do it safely. Okay? Be safe tonight, guys. I wish you all the best. I'll be there when the ball drops, and I'll keep all of you in mind when it happens. I'll be in bed, probably falling asleep, but I'm waiting for my honeymooners marathon to come on anyway. All right. But anyway, guys, yes, I have no life. I know I have no life. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Happy New Year to you, Ty, Amanda, all of you guys, Sergio, Kara, Ali, everybody. And for those who could not make it, Happy New Year's to you guys as well. I love you all. Much love to you, much blessings, much peace, much happiness, all of that good stuff. Okay. Good night, guys. Stay safe, and I will see you next year. Love you guys. Bye.